Let's jump into today's topics. I want to start off with talking about family and tough love, right? Do you feel that tough love is necessary? Because that's a thing that goes on in the Black community a lot, is they got to be tough on you. They got to be hard on you. They whoop your ass and make sure that you come out the right way. And obviously we know that that's coming from an area of combating white supremacy, because we know that if we're not hard on our own, the world is going to be harder on them. But is tough love necessary in today's society?
Um, yes, I will say yes. I do think we have a history of being too tough. Um, as a mama's boy, I'm my mother's only son, and I'm the oldest. And so, and she raised the three of us on her own. And in talking to her, she said that she felt that she had to be a little tougher on me because I was the man. But then I also inherited her sensitivity and just being around her all the time. And so I don't think even when she tried sometimes to be tough, I don't think she could, in a way, because she knew that because of my sensitivity, I didn't receive toughness the best, even though I understood why it came from her. Um, I don't know if that I don't know if that answers your question. Um, but in a sense, I do think it's necessary enough, only because um, sometimes in the, I guess, spoiling, I don't really think you can spoil your children. I don't. I think you can, if you do spoon feed them a little bit too much, they will have I guess a lack of understanding of how the real world works, maybe. But it is the parents' job, and to to I guess, I don't want to say be super mom or super dad, but at the very least just give them a world where they don't have to worry about things, because we're not, as children, aren't in a place to to handle them. They can't fend for themselves. They're not able to work. They don't know about bills and all that. I guess a good parent will prepare their children for that, but it's also, you don't want them to have to feel like everything is a grind. And even though it is, they don't need to understand that too early, because they'll grow up too fast, and then they won't know how to, they won't missing out on stages of life like that. It's pretty damaging. Yeah, society's tough enough on us. We don't need to do it too much from the home, I don't think.
But so the when I say tough love, I'm talking about obviously like just being really hard, putting all this pressure on your kids, your black kids. Um, the way I feel about it is sometimes I feel like we're giving into white supremacy when we do that, because we're doing so much at making sure our young black boys are so tough that they're missing out on humanity, right?
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, because um, well, that comes from people's just general understanding of manhood and what it looks like and what it's supposed to be. I'm not sh
So I'll say this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you feel that tough love, do you feel like, as far like, forget work or anything like that, has tough love helped you as far as feeling your humanity and your emotions as a man, as a human?
Depends on who it came from. Um, because the tough love that I got from my mother, it was kind of nurturing, but I guess general tough love, the way I've seen others experience it, it will definitely it makes you quench some of your natural feel. I think some boys with tough love miss out on understanding how to express their emotions, how to just to feel human. I think there's pressure on us. There's so much pressure to look and be a certain way. And early on, if we don't, if we see our young boys not looking or appearing to be on a certain road, they'll be even tougher on them to try to harden them up and to try and steer that, instead of allowing their individuality to come out.
So, okay, so there we go. We're here. What are the negative effects of that, right? What is that? Because what you're doing right now, you're talking to the Black boy who's experienced that, who's right now out here in the streets thugging and hanging, right? So how did tough love get him to that point? You said expectations. You said when he didn't fit this mold.
You know, I think you used the word peacocking earlier. There's always a competition between getting the girl, having the most money, the coolest car, whatever, and because of how involved Black people are in the entertainment industry, between athletics, music, acting, or those type of aspirations. I think a lot of those people become our expected role models. And when that's modeled a lot, a lot of young boys want that. They want to stunt. They want to be rich. They want to have all of those things as well. And sometimes even, just like the entertainment industry gives you tough love because of the subject matter. I mean, thugging is a real thing because I know, because I've seen it and I know it. I've grown up in the hood and close to it, and I've had friends that weren't as fortunate as me, and I know how they had to get down to make things go by. What it does, it hardens them too early. They don't know the joys of childhood and play and to be able to dream, because all they know is hustle.
I love what you said there. Hardens them too early. So hardens them. Makes them then have to play into this role, into these expectations, into this lifestyle where they're not even acknowledging their own humanity, right? They're not even able to acknowledge when the fact they're like, okay, man, I feel scared right now, right? So, but what does scared look like for them? Scared looks like, when I'm scared, I pull out a gun or I put up these, and we do it like that.
Or they're not even allowed to be scared. Being scared, you're called a pussy, a weak. And you can't have that, because I have something to prove. I ain't no punk, that type of stuff. But that, like, when sometimes tough love ingrains that in you very, very early, and you have to. And when people overdo it, like when you see people go and kill somebody over something small, I think sometimes it's because they've learned to react that way. When somebody does you wrong like that, you have to react with force. You have to react terminally, and not most situations don't require that type of energy, but that's what they learn, because that's, I guess that's the way. That's what being a strong Black man is. You can't let nobody punk you. You can't let nobody see your weakness, even though everybody has weaknesses.
Yes. Thank you. Say it again for me one time. Say it again for me. Everybody
has weaknesses, but as men, especially Black men, we're afraid. We're afraid to show it, to other people's and ourselves. You know, we're very self-conscious about that. We sometimes, especially even as boys, we're not allowed to even cry. You know, toughen up, dry those tears. You supposed to be that.
You're gonna be all right.
You right. You know, no, but then you learn bad coping mechanisms that way. When something makes me about to cry, I have to harden this, or I have to drink, I have to pill, I have to smoke, or I have to, you know,
women, well, sex,
women, all of that. And
so look at this way, right? No matter what goes on, every action has a reaction. Yeah. I don't even know if I said that right, but every action has a reaction. So if something is done to you, there is some, like, let me do it this way. When you eat some food later that night, what happens when you eat that food?
You digest it. It goes through you. If it doesn't agree, it's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out, but it's always gonna come out though. But where does it come out? If it doesn't agree with you, it's gonna come out here. But if it does agree with you, it's gonna come out where?
It's gonna digest. It's gonna through your excretory. It's gonna poo. You're gonna pee. You're gonna poo.
You're gonna piss and you're gonna shit, right? So think about that with every other energy that goes on in your life, right? If you lost your cousin to gun violence, you're gonna be told to be cool, be calm. It's all right. It's cool. But that's just storing. That energy is just storing up inside you. Right. You still need a place to release that. And the thing is, with Black men, we're not given that opportunity to release that shit. It's literally needs to be released. So hold it in, be cool, let it go, get over it. No, that's why you have shoot 'em up, bang bang. That's why you have the fighting and you have the dissension in the Black community, is because there's no place to release the pain. That pain is the same fucking bile that comes out your asshole, bruh.
Yeah, and then you wanna, and then if you cap somebody, they either cap you go to jail, and then during incarceration, you're not getting any help either. You know, they say it's supposed to be rehab and restitution. You just sitting in there looking at yourself. Nah, you're not healing at all.
You sitting there with a bunch of criminals who
have the same issue as you.
Say it again.
You're locked up with people with the same, the word for comorbidities, the same mix of issues, and you're already fighting those energies on the outside. You're already ganging outside. You gang in jail too. You can't be a punk in prison either. And if you just want to mind your business, you know, you're solid. You're solitary for 24 hours of the day. You know, you're left to your own devices. People go crazy.
Yeah. We've seen it with COVID. Right? Like this is one thing I love about COVID, because understand, like, I come from a background where I've had cousins, I've had uncles, like all the men in my family have been to jail, who have been attempted murders, all that other bullshit, right? They're finally seeing with COVID exactly what other motherfuckers go through. When you're confined in this damn household, you're gonna start to go batshit crazy. That's why you got people who really are now starting to take heed to their mental health, who are really starting to understand, damn, I'm drinking a lot. Because you're drinking a lot because you're in the house and you're bored as fuck, and all you have is these four walls. When you have these four walls, that's all you can fucking relate to. And then you have to think about everything in your life and second guess everything in your life that could have gone right or could have gone wrong. Most likely you're harping on the wrong. And so when it comes to the in jail situation, you're now confined with a bunch of people where you're not really getting help. You're given a couple classes that can help you get some time off. But what happens when you get out? You go to a halfway house. Okay, you go to a halfway house. Now you got to go out here and look for a job. Who's gonna hire you with that felony on that record?
Not to mention, you probably need to talk. Who did you talk to in prison? Nobody. you know, and you're so used to clamming up, when you get out, you're just gonna clam up even more. Nobody who wants to talk to you about, oh, so how was your time in there? You know, how was jail? Who wants to talk about that? You know?
Right. And who's going to understand that as well, right?
Exactly. Who's gonna be able to relate to that except other felons?
Because
But
me and
they're
you,
so used to clamming, they can't help each other either.
because me and you never been to jail. So when it comes to it, when we see that family member at a barbecue, we not gonna ask them about, so what was it like being locked inside?
Nah, man. I mean, as a psychology student, I can understand what being confined will do, but I won't know firsthand because I haven't experienced that. You're right, absolutely right.
Yep.
And just thinking that tough love does all of that. It is, you know, and to think our parents think they're doing us a favor because all they're doing is the best that they knew themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like I said, we've inherited these poor coping mechanisms, and so and trauma. You know, they beat us because they were beat. They got beat, and then up the wire, it wasn't our parents that were beating us, it was our masters that was beating us. So yeah.